So here we have is a 454 Chevrolet Big Block, 5th generation, that was pulled out of a motorhome. Now, she did experience some sort of mechanical failure, but don't exactly know what it is yet. But spoiler alert, you can't turn the crank completely over. There is a dead spot where you can't turn no more. So let's dig into it. I don't see anything particularly catastrophic. Check the other side. Same for that side, doesn't look too bad up top. So here's a bit of a better view. Again, nothing that jumps out. Alrighty, the intake is ready to go. Now that doesn't look good. Alright, come take a look at this. So looking down in here, we got little chunks. What appears to be aluminum. Just sprinkled all about. Fun stuff. So further inspection of the intake. If I can get the light right, looks like it's sucked in what appears to be a piston ring. So we'll have to figure out where that came from. Uh-oh. Found the problem. . 2, where are you? Alright, so here we have the combustion chamber for number 2, which, all in all, not too terribly bad for what it is. See, the spark plug just got annihilated, but the valves themselves don't look too beat up, but we'll see once I pull them. The other chambers, they look good to me. Now over to the block. So we have our piston delete here. Got some rust on this cylinder wall and some gouging. That one, I don't know, might look like it's glazed a little bit, but oh, no, not too bad. But cylinder 8, look at that. We got some of the ring in here, as well as probably top of the piston. But I find that pretty trippy how it migrated through the intake all the way over. Kinda cool. And also kinda not. So the combustion chambers on the other side looks pretty good. There's some piston right there. There's some more piston down at the bottom. More piston up top. But pretty much this side looks pretty good. Alright, and for the big reveal, what could that be? Well, that looks like the largest, well, second largest chunk. Wow. There's the oil ring. Well, there's the chunks that were keeping it from rotating. Pretty good destruction. Well, there's some rings. Oh, these rings are all twisted up in there. No, there's more piston over there. Pretty intense. Alright, a little bit closer of a view of the mayhem and carnage. There we got some chunks of piston. There's a good chunk right there. A couple good chunks. We got some oil rings right here. That's all twisted up in there. There's one. Well, that one's staying for now. Here's some more that fell out of the bottom. Random pieces that fell out on the floor when I pulled the pan. So there's quite a bit of aluminum in there, and I'm kind of surprised that a lot of it didn't flow out when I drained the pan. Here's some of the chunks that I first grabbed. Hey, at least that one still has its oil, little compression ring in it. Good stuff. Alright, well. That seems like a pretty good sign. Also, that's finger loose. Didn't even try and put a wrench on it yet. And then it's like kind of a foil type of deal, like I don't know if that's some sort of bearing or a thrust washer, I'm not sure. But yeah, so I'm sure this crank right here is going to look great. Rod 1, finger loose, finger loose. Oh yeah, that's some good stuff. Oh, good God. All right, on to number 2. Finger loose. Oh, there's the bearing. All right. Almost fingerless. Absolute goodness. Didn't know you could take it out this way. Whew. She got roached. Alright, here's a more up close and personal look at things. Just absolutely mint condition right here. Just flaking off some of the bearing that kind of welded itself to the crank. And these two piece welded themselves to one. My goodness. Alright. So there's rod number 2. A little cockeyed up front. Well, down the bottom, I guess. There's rod 1. And the bearings in that. Look awesome. Super deep groove right there. So I bet those will polish up nicely. But yeah, she got a little bent. Hey, this one actually has some torque on it. How unusual. Yeah, that ain't good. Oh. Okay, she still doesn't want to turn. Well then. Here's a closer look of the bearing surfaces. Like a lot of material was going through and scuffed it up pretty obviously. That one's inside of 4. And there's 3. You can see it got cooked a little bit. Got a little warm. Alright, let's take off the main caps. Yeah, got some damage on that one as well. Yeah, this one's a little worse. Definitely stuff got circulated to all the bearings. Oh, Jesus. Well, good thing I don't have to worry about damaging this. Very not good. Alright, so if we take a closer look at this main cap, The bearing is still there, but you can see that the oiling just filled up with junk. See if I can. Oh yeah. That is good stuff right there. Lots of material. Worn, but I've definitely seen worse already. Yeah, some pretty good grooves. Alright, now the crank is free and I can move. So now I can get the rest of the rods and pistons out. Ooh. More piston in there. A lot of piston. A lot of oil, more compression rings. Oh, that's a lots of goodness. Yeah, the bearings don't look good on that one either. Alright, got another spot where it still doesn't want to turn really, which is always a lovely sign. Yeah, pretty worn. It must be a pretty good groove at the top of the cylinder wall that it's getting caught on. Actually, there might be other issues at play. Well, I guess we'll leave number 5 for now. When you can wipe chunks out of it, that's a good sign. A lot more chunks. The chunks must have been binding it up. That was making it difficult to rotate. Because like those just fell out of it. Hey! She might rotate nicely now. Yay! Now I was able to get out number 4. Oh. Alright, well, yeah, this one, she got warm because it started, looks like, maybe, well, it busted the piston. It's hard to say if it chipped or it melted. I guess chipped. It chipped. The sides are really scribed up. Bearing looks fantastic. And that's sarcasm, of course. Here's number 5 that had difficulty coming out. Notice that there's a piece missing there. Compression rings can still move, well, except there, of course, but... So that one was difficult coming out. Sides are scuffed up pretty good on that one and on the other side. Bearings look absolutely fantastic. Number 6, at least the piston looks pretty good. And the bearing looks even worse than the other one. Another bearing that's pretty much gone. Actually not too bad, but certainly isn't good. Got a piece of piston in there. A couple pieces binding this one up a little bit. And that's all the pistons. Now that we have the crank on the table, we can take a closer look at the bearing surfaces. Rods 1 and 2, the bearings not too great. We have one welded together. Got so hot it started pushing it out the side. Then we go on to the main cap for 2, and that bearing, well, she spun as well. The other bearing surfaces are not too bad. Like, they could be polished out. But the severe damage from this spinning, all three of these spinning, essentially turns this crank into scrap iron. Oh well. Alright, so what went wrong? Well, if you said that piston 2 fell apart and that was the reason everything went to hell, you would be right. But what caused piston 2 to fall apart? Well, it got overheated. That's the main problem. When it got overheated, the pistons, rings, compression rings, started to close up. And once they closed up, they started pushing out. Once they pushed out, started causing cracks in the piston, which could also be seen in number 5, where we have it to start to fall apart, especially with chunks starting to fly off. So then once it started getting hot and pieces of aluminum started flying around inside, then the bearing started to get hot and spin, especially for the rod for piston 2. That one got hot, started spinning, caused havoc, even bent it. So what went wrong? Did it lose oil and oil pressure and oil didn't get to where it needed to go? Or was it the coolant? Well, long story short, it was the coolant side. The thermostat failed. So, like a $10 part caused thousands of dollars of damage. So pretty much the moral of this story is keep an eye on your temperature gauge. It might save your engine. Or do what they did and just keep it on going. Try and make it home. Can't really blame them for that, but I also am going to blame them for destroying this block and these pistons. Kind of a shame. It's old iron like this that is kind of going away like the dinosaurs.